Hello and welcome to Beyond the Finish Line, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal. I am your co-host, Georgia. I am a 4-time marathon runner and a social media content creator. On today's episode, we are talking about our highs and lows of our training weeks, the mental side of a marathon, the toughness that we go through during the race, before the race, and after the race, my personal pacing strategy that Matt is going to run through today, followed by some listener questions. But first, I want to intro my amazing co-host, Matt. He is a marathon runner, an ultra marathon runner, an Ironman, and an endurance coach. How are you going, Matt?
Yeah, it's Monday, Georgia. I'm fantastic. Get to record Beyond the Finish Line, catch up on some athlete stuff over the weekend. It's a good day.
Good. I'm so glad. How are your athletes doing?
It is a mixed bag. I mean, everyone is good, like in terms of just straight data, but like there is a lot of mental breakdowns in the 2 weeks leading into a marathon, and especially race week. So it's a lot of just like probably what I am not good at is nursing people through. But everyone is fine. Everyone's going to crush.
Yes, as one of your athletes, I do know what you are like before a race. You're very straight shooting, so it does take a little bit to get used to someone who's not as you said, able to nurse you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a lot softer than probably when you first started with me.
Yeah,
But
definitely. You are so much softer. You definitely know now when to throw in those little nuggets of wisdom or a little bit of encouragement, words of affirmation, that kind of stuff.
yeah, but sometimes that is actually not good for people. Sometimes they
Yeah.
need like a kick in the ass to snap them out of it. Um, so yeah, it really is athlete dependent. But I feel like the majority of them are just going through. The majority of our athletes are on debut, so they're just going through that first time freak out, which is just normal.
Yeah, definitely. Look, as you said, there's a lot of us, not us, I'm not on debut, but there are a lot of your athletes that are on debut and they're doing their first marathon. And it's so exciting that we're in race week at the moment. You sent a lovely message out to everyone this week, kind of just saying, welcome to race week, which is so exciting. And then I sent out a message being like, not long to go, guys, till you can tell everyone you've run a marathon, which personally I think is the best part.
There's literally a joke in the Iron Man space, and it's the whole how do you know someone's done an Iron Man? They'll tell you in the first fucking 30 seconds of meeting them. Like, it's the same. I'm sure it's the same with our marathon runners. Like the week after the marathon, like, did you know I did a marathon?
Yeah. Hey, did I tell you I did a marathon on the weekend?
Yeah, legit.
Literally, like everyone, I think everyone's quite used to me saying it now because even the postman at work, he's like, hey, Georgia, running the marathon this weekend? I'm like, sure am.
Yep.
So everyone's very much used to it. But I think you do learn to turn it off sometimes because it can be a little bit too much for people.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, sometimes I don't know if I've said it heaps or if I'm like so because of all the social media memes,
Yeah.
I'm super self-conscious of it. So then I like won't bring it up. Someone will be like, didn't you do that Iron Man the other day? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you didn't want to tell me that? I'm like, oh, I didn't know if I should or not.
Yeah, you do. You honestly do. I'm the same. I try not to talk about it so much now because I feel like I talk about it too much to the point where people are like, hello, are you going to talk to me about it?
Yeah.
Especially at work, I get, clients coming in. We're a client-based business. So everyone comes in and they go, oh, you've got the marathon this weekend, or how's your training going? And I feel so weird talking about myself because I'm so used to talking to clients about their lives that I'm like, oh, I'm good. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try not to, panic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How's the taper going? How's the body feel? How's the quad strain?
Yes, taper's going well. I'd say it's definitely not what I expected it was going to be, which is a little bit disappointing because I had expected to really push through right until the start line. But with this quad strain, it's been another spanner in the works. But yeah, I saw the physio on Friday. He was really happy. Whether he was telling me the truth or not, I don't know. I don't care. But he seemed to think that I'd got a lot of my strength back, which I felt when he was doing the testing. I could feel that I had a lot of my strength back in my quad. So yeah, that's good. I've just been compression every day, ice, heat, Nurofen, all of the things. So that's good. I ran on the treadmill on Sunday, so that was nice. But yeah, I ran in the park this morning, which was a bit sore, so that kind of was a bit concerning. But what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the point now where the good thing about quad strain, or I shouldn't say good thing, but the thing we can take with confidence is you're not going to be 35 kilometers in and it go from where it is now to a grade 3 and like rip it off the bone. Like that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Oh,
So
good.
it's just going to be like a matter of how much you can deal with pain, which is not the end of the world. Pain is
No,
fine.
yeah. And I was wondering that. So it's good you mentioned that. I was like, I don't actually know if I can make this 10 times worse really quickly or whether or not it'll just kind of be uncomfortable. But I'm
It
pretty
could
used to running
definitely
with,
get worse, but like it's
yeah,
not going to be debilitating. Like,
can't
I hope,
wait.
yeah, no, you'll be right.
No, honestly, I actually feel really good. I've had a few messages this morning. My mum messaged me this morning being like, how's your mindset going? How are you feeling? And I was like, you know what? I feel really good. I feel mentally amazing. I feel like I know I've got this. So it'll just be whether or not in this next week I can rest it enough to really just send it on race day and to my plan. Not crazy, but just, yeah, give it my best shot on Sunday. So I'm feeling good. The taper's good.
Yeah, that's good. Like, it has been, like I said before, it's interesting seeing all the different, the more experience you get, how you deal with the situations better. Like Georgia of Gold Coast Marathon 2024 would be in tears for the
Yeah.
last, like, inconsolable. Wouldn't matter of what I said.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, like, we'll work it out.
Yeah, definitely. And I would have been. You're so right. My mindset, even just a year ago coming into a race, I was a nervous wreck. I still remember you always saying to me, don't waste your energy on being, too stressed about this. You can't control what happens. So just see what happens. And I was actually talking to someone today. They were worried about not finishing the race. They were like, I've had injuries and all this kind of stuff. Like, what happens if I DNF? Like, I do not finish. And I just said to her, I was like, what's the worst? The worst that can happen is you DNF, right? But the best thing that can happen is you don't DNF and you finish. And also, you will never regret giving it your all or giving it a go or trying. You're only ever going to regret not trying. So you may as well go out there. If you DNF, not a problem. You just give it a go another time. There's always going to be another race.
Yeah, I think there's a big, speaking as someone who has DNF from an
Yeah.
Ironman Cairns 3 years ago, sick as a dog, was also having some mental health issues, and was just like vicious flu. Like just
Yeah.
barely could get out of bed. And it was like, we've flown all the way to Cairns, we'd paid for it all. We're like, fuck
Yeah.
it, like we'll just give it a shot. Got
Yeah.
halfway through the swim, so like 40 minutes into a 12-hour event, pulled the pin. Um, I don't regret doing it. I don't regret getting out there. Now, I would say there is a big difference in DNFing from quitting. Like if you get 25 kilometers in, 28, whatever it is, and you just go, nah, I've had enough, that's probably where you need some introspection. But if you're coming off an injury or some sickness, just go roll the dice. The worst that happens is you're like, okay, wasn't my day. That's fine.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's, I guess that's just a decision everyone has to make for themselves, whether
Sure.
they're like you and they only ever want to go into a race at 110%, like what you've been kind of dealing with Ironman Western Australia. But yeah, I could tell that she was just a little bit apprehensive. And so I just wanted to somehow be like, you can totally do this. I think you're more so in your head than anything. But, I think, yeah.
DNFs aren't a big deal.
No. Look, I've never had one, so I can't really come from experience where I've DNF'd something, but and hopefully I never have to, but I can't imagine anyone is ever going to look down on you or, be like, oh, how embarrassing you DNF'd. Like everyone would go, oh, are you okay? Like I know plenty of elites who have DNF'd, so.
Yeah, I really think the only time a DNF is not even someone to look down on you, but probably just like where you should have a look at yourself is like if you've just quit.
Yeah.
If you're just like, it's too hard, don't want to do it, pull on the pin. Like that's probably a different question. But if you genuinely coming from a injury, sickness, insert realistic problem that has affected you, there's nothing wrong with DNF. Like there's like the more adversity you have to overcome, the bigger the triumph on the other side. So if you DNF a marathon, guess what? The next marathon is going to feel so much better because you got over not just the adversity of training for a marathon, but the adversity of the mental side of you DNF the last one. So like the more friction, the more hard things you have to go through, the better it is on the other side.
Yeah, and I know a guy who DNF'd Gold Coast last year, and then this year he went and ran it, and he said it was the best experience ever because he got past that hurdle that he got really sick last year, but he ended up having to go to hospital. But yeah, this year he ran and he got an incredible time and he trained really hard, and he was just like, that was the best reward ever, was coming back from a DNF. So there's always highs to lows, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think, I think that's something that we really work on with the performance project is getting people right mentally to not break. It's like so much of the marathon, and that's, I guess, the core of today's episode is like the mental side of the marathon. But as long as you keep moving forward, you will finish. It will end. Like, it doesn't matter what, if think back to like your hardest training sessions, no matter how tired you were, how exhausted you were, how much your legs hurt, how much you didn't think you could hit the paces, 2 minutes after that session's over, you're like, oh, I could have kept going.
Yeah.
Everyone, universally. So that feeling is the exact same when you finish the marathon. Like when you cross that finish line and you're like, oh, okay, like I could have kept going. Or so same thing if you pull the pin unnecessarily, as soon as you quit, you'll be like, oh, I could have kept going.
And it's so true. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's only if you give it your all do you not go, oh, I could have gone a little bit further. Like last year at Sydney, I know I gave that my all. I ran a perfect race in my mind, and I've never once gone, oh, I should have done this better, or I should have tried better, because I gave it everything. So yeah, definitely
not even from that perspective, Georgia. Like, let's say you cross the finish line, someone came out, put a gun to your head, and was like, 5 more Ks. Like you could have done 5 more Ks. You could have kept going.
Yeah.
So that's more where I was coming from. Was like, no matter how tired you are, how sore you are, how much you want to quit, you can just keep going.
Yeah, definitely. There's always more, in the tank, and especially
not necessarily at marathon pace, but like you could just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Look, we with London mentally, that was the toughest race I've ever done. So
yeah,
that's a prime example.
Start jerking back and forth, like wanted to quit, and you just kept putting one foot in front of the other, and eventually the finish line is going to come. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah. Well, before we get into all of the mental side of the marathon, Matt, how's your week been? Tell us your highs and lows.
Yeah, highs and lows. That's a fantastic question, Georgia.
Like, what day is it? What have I done?
What's going on? It's all, honestly, the sort of the 10 days leading into a big race it's pretty hectic for me because it's just non-stop with athletes.
Yeah.
So I'll have extended highs that will be getting everyone to the start line feeling 100%. And like I've said so many times before, I actually don't care how my athletes perform on race day. That's more on them than it is me.
Yeah.
What I care is where my job sort of ends is when they get on that start line and they feel 100% confident that they've done the work to achieve what they want to achieve. So that's my high, is like, I know, actually, I can't think of anyone that is not already 100% confident. I think everyone is like in the 90th percentile of like, okay, just need to freshen up a little bit, need to shake off the cobwebs, and like good to go. So that'll be my high, is seeing everyone on the start line come Sunday.
I know, I'm excited for everyone. I'm excited to see how everyone does. We've got a big group chat with all of the Sydney Marathon athletes in it, so I can't wait to hear everyone's experiences. It's nice to have that community. Yeah,
and something like, obviously, you've worked really hard in fostering is building that performance project community, and I think it's paying dividends now. Like our Sydney Marathon it'll be the biggest event the performance project's ever done in terms of athletes competing. The community is like, it's the first time we've done like they're doing community events for the weekend for our marathon athletes plus the podcast listeners. Like there's so much stuff going on that's just a high. So stuff that we do that no one else does is cool.
Yeah, and look, not to make it about me, but the community. I think someone messaged in the chat the other day saying, we were welcoming a new athlete into the chat, and they were like, "Oh, you'll love this group chat. Like, there's heaps of like amazing people within this chat, and we all talk about lots of different things, and welcome." And I was like, "Oh, that makes me so happy because it means that everyone who is in the chat is enjoying being there." So that definitely was a really nice response to hear from one of your athletes. And yeah, just touching on the community aspect for the weekend, we've got the run club on Saturday, so that's super exciting. We have nearly 200 people coming, which is crazy.
Wow.
I know, and we've got some incredible sponsors on board, which I'm just going to do a really quick shout out because they've been so generous and none of them have asked for anything in return. So we've got Hyro donating a bunch of hydration for everyone to take home and try. We have Prime Jerky bringing packets of jerky down for everyone to try. It's super high protein. I personally use it myself. We have the Breakout Hack bringing a post-run body spray that's absolutely amazing. Again, something I use all the time. What else have we got? We have Clutch Glue coming down, gluing all the girls into their shorts, all the guys into their singlets if they need to. It's an awesome product. And today we got Maple Movement coming down, giving everybody gels to try. There's over hundreds of gels coming down from Cairns, which is really cool. Aussie-based brand. We love that.
Yeah, shout out Dan and Ella. They're unreal. I know them pretty well. They're great people.
Yeah, they've been amazing to deal with. And then today we had Fun Day Sweets say that they wanted to jump on board as well. So we have, I think, 180 packets of lollies coming, which is just crazy.
Considering, when did we do our first one? Do you remember what date it was? It was not that long ago.
No,
it wasn't. Maybe 6 weeks, something like that.
No, it was longer than that. Our first one was a while ago now. Here we go. It was on the 22nd of June.
Oh, that's right, week after Ironman. So yeah, 6 weeks.
No,
sorry.
It's like 8 or 9. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And we had maybe 13 or 14 people come.
Maybe, yeah. That's generous, Georgia.
So, and now this time, nearly 200 people. We've got heaps of giveaways. I'm so excited.
I was going to have Jimmy from Jim's Media come down, film some stuff, make some content for everyone. So that'd be cool. Yeah,
I'm so excited for that, which will be awesome. It'd be great to, not have to worry too much about content on the day and enjoy talking to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, super, super cool. I don't think I've forgotten anyone, but there's plenty of amazing sponsors on board. So that's awesome. And we're so grateful. So thank you to everyone. But, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's I'm definitely going to be out of my comfort zone for sure. George is in an element. I'm just going to be there sweating bullets.
Well, I said to Matt, I was like, you chat to, TP, the Performance Project athletes that are all coming down because they're all going to want to talk to you. And anyone who wants to come and talk to Matt, they obviously can. But at least he'll know people there. Whereas I will do the hello, everyone who's come on the podcast and social media. I'm happy to do that. Happy to jump on top of a chair and say hi to everyone.
Oh, I'm fine doing that. It's just I am out of my comfort zone for sure. I do not thrive in that environment. The city, lots of people. It's not for me. But no. I will do what is required.
Very good. It'll be great. I'm sure Matt will just blossom on the day.
Right. That's what I do. I rise to the occasion.
Rise to the occasion. All right, amazing. Well, let's jump into kind of this marathon mindset. I think leading into race day, a lot of people I know ask me about this, and I remember this exact feeling of just feeling so incredibly nervous and just really in my head coming into the race. So this week is super important to, get your head in check and kind of do things for your mindset as well as your body in a traditional taper. Matt, do you want to run us through kind of some of your things that you experience as a coach with mindset around the marathon?
Just complete and utter mental breakdowns. I would say the biggest one, and we spoke about this in our Sydney Marathon episode when we spoke about taper, would be the lack of focus. So you'll have athletes who are trained perfectly for 12, 15, 20 weeks, whatever it was. Then all of a sudden that 2-week taper comes in. so on Training Peaks, if you miss a session, it's red. Hit a session, it's green. All of a sudden, the red boxes start showing up, and in
Yeah.
those 2 weeks, they might have more red boxes than they had in 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like the biggest one. The other one is people, especially athletes, maybe in their first 1 to 3 marathons, who haven't done like proper tapers before, and especially athletes who don't work with a coach who like tailors the taper to them,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like they are stuck in cement, feeling like everything's in slow motion, feeling like they're really lethargic. They go and do like most of our TPP athletes did sort of 15 to 16 Ks on yesterday.
Yep.
All easy, no efforts, and the amount of them that said, "Oh my God, I just feel like that was impossible. I couldn't possibly do it." And I was like, "Well, 2 weeks ago you ran 36 Ks with 30 at marathon pace. Like you are definitely capable of doing it." So I would say they're the two biggest: is lack of focus and then like overthinking the room in terms of where they are training wise.
Okay, so let's start with that first one, lack
Mm-hmm.
of focus. What would be a good way coming into this taper week, the last week before the marathon? How can we dial in our focus? How can we really make sure we aren't getting that lack of focus?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously having a plan. So like I am a big proponent of running my athletes 3 or 4 times, probably 4 times on race week with just like constantly hitting marathon pace. So that's like sort of 1 minute intervals, 90-second intervals, just so their body is staying alert. I think a lot of people will treat marathon week as just all easy runs. They'll just do all zone two, and then it's not your body forgets, but like when you go to run marathon pace, it will take a little bit to like get back into the rhythm. So we're constantly just like keeping that neuromuscular signal high. And then from the planning side, it would just be like knowing exactly what you're going to do all through race week. So what if you're traveling to Sydney, what day you're traveling? Does your accommodation have like cooking facility? Like, can you make your own
Yeah.
meals? If not, like what options are you going to get? Great hack for people with something I always do: Kmart $20 single serve air fryer. Go, you can put everything in it, and you can do it in a hotel room, so you can keep
What?
whatever. Yeah, barbecue chicken, instant rice, $20 air fryer, good as gold.
Oh my
You can cook
God, what a
you,
hack!
you
What
can
a
cook
hack!
toast in it, bagels in it, crumpets in it, like whatever you want. Like perfect. Buy 1 glass container, good for the week.
Oh my God, that's insane. I've never thought about that because when we were going for London Marathon, that's the only kind of marathon I've really traveled where there wasn't facilities. We had to
Mm-hmm.
book an apartment pretty much that had a little kitchenette.
Yep. Yeah. So if you're in a hotel room, Kmart, single serve, like literally, it's about big enough for like a takeaway container. I think
Yeah.
it's under $40. I'm pretty sure it's about 20, 25. You can do all your meals in it, breakfast, everything.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah. So having that plan, having your transport plan. So race morning, knowing what time you're going to get up, what time you are going to get the train, what train you're going to get. All of those things is super important just for like keeping calm. Like if you have a plan, you'll be calm the whole week and you'll be focused because you know exactly what you have to do. It's
Yeah.
when you have options and you're like, I'm not sure what to do. That is when the head noise starts. That's when the anxiety starts. That's when you start like just putting your energy all over the place rather than it being arrow straight.
Right. And just like dealing with the head noise,
Mm.
how do you even start to tackle that if you're someone who gets really anxious? You know, I know yourself, Matt, you have obviously dealt with those kinds of feelings
Mm-hmm.
before. Do you have experience in that? How can, any tips for everyone?
Yeah. So anxiety is not normally stems from too many options in its simplest form. So you do not know
Okay.
what to focus on. Like you are trying to control too many different variables, too many different outcomes, and that's what makes you go, oh, I don't know what to focus on, and you can't focus on anything.
Yeah.
Um, for me, that's why the plan is so important. It's just what we do on race day, or what we do on each day. So what day am I going to the convention center to get my to do my registration, get my bib and everything. Like just having very direct, one simple thing, one simple focus at a time is like
Yeah.
the best way to keep calm. And then in terms of if you are worried about performance metrics,
Yeah.
um, if you're worried about performance metrics, and this isn't going to help, but like it might help some.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Like your bed is made in terms of performance metrics.
Yeah, well, I guess like everyone has been saying to me this week, the hay is in the barn. So there's not much in these next, in the last 2 weeks, there's not much else you can really do, right, to do any better on race day.
There's nothing you can do to do better. Like when we spoke about this in previous episodes in terms of the taper or whatnot, all you can do is damage your performance. So as long as you stay focused, keep to the plan, you will not regress. It's when you lose focus and you don't stick to the plan that you can only go down. Right.
And, you speak about, I know in the last couple of episodes, you've spoken a lot about, losing that conditioning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose that focus, what do you mean by that? I was thinking about it today and I was like, because obviously I haven't been running the last week and a half and I've been a little bit worried about my conditioning and if it's going to affect my performance come race day that I haven't been running. What do you kind of mean by that? Can you...
In terms of conditioning?
Yeah, like you're always kind of saying like don't lose focus coming into taper because, that's where things start to happen. What do you mean by that? Because like I haven't been running, so in my mind I'm like, is that me losing focus?
It's not you losing. I would say like it's obviously dependent because of injury, sickness. Again, sort of like what we're talking about with the DNF. Like if you have legitimate reason you can't train, like if I said to Georgia, fucking ignore everything the physio said, we're not losing conditioning, go run. Georgia tears her quad and she's out of the race. Like obviously that is not what we want. So it is dependent. When I say that, I am talking about fully fit, functional athletes who are preparing for the marathon or any race. It's all about. I'm just trying to think of the easiest way to phrase this. If you do not remind your body of like what marathon pace is, what those efforts feel like, what running feels like, it forgets very, very, very quickly. But it remembers it very, very quickly. But just think about this, and everyone could probably relate to this. You train consistently 6, 8, 10 weeks, and let's say you go on holidays or you're sick, you have a couple of weeks off. How do those first 3, 4 runs feel back? They feel awful. Feel horrendous. Yeah. That's just a loss of conditioning. You haven't lost any fitness. You just lost that conditioning. And 1, 2, 3 runs back, you're like, oh, starting to get my groove. 4 or 5 runs back, you're back to exactly where you were.
Yeah.
So if people take that time off during taper, they lose that focus. They might not drop all the way down to, say, coming off sickness, but like they lose a bit of that muscle memory, a bit of that neuromuscular messaging. It just loses that crispness. Like I'm just trying to think of like the easiest ways to describe this without getting into like super, super nerdy stuff. It's like,
okay.
All the work that you have put in to build, to make marathon pace efficient, you were just starting to pull away from it, just like chipping away. So
okay, and so like I'm gonna be a bit selfish here, and
go for it.
Should I be nervous because I haven't run the last week? I've done 1 run on a treadmill and 1 kind of very average run today. Like that's
no.
Good.
So this is where I guess the nuance of having a coach or at least someone who understands physiology. I can't even speak, Georgia. Say the word I want.
Physiologically?
No, physiology.
I
was trying to say physiologically, and I'm like, that is not the right word, and I kept stopping halfway through. Someone who understands physiology is, and let me take it back to something that we use in the performance project, laying bricks, right?
Yeah.
So every time we do a session, it's like you've laid a brick in the wall. Now, you and I have been working together since February-ish 2024.
Yeah.
February, March, somewhere around there, start of 2024. Every marathon prep Georgia has done with me, so this is her fourth. Um, she has not started a new wall. You've just added to the previous wall. So your wall is just getting
Okay.
bigger and bigger and bigger. So
Yeah.
for an experienced athlete, if you have time off training, the reduction is significantly less than a new athlete. So if I was to compare, if I took Georgia of 2024 and Georgia present day side by side, gave them the exact amount of time off, you would split blitz her. It wouldn't even be competitive. Like, come back day one, race, it wouldn't even be close. So you do need to take into consideration the experience of the athlete, the amount of kilometers they've consumed, the amount of volume that they've put into their training, just their understanding of the marathon or half marathon distance as well is big. Like,
Yeah.
I said this to you for London. I was like, you could roll out of bed and run a marathon tomorrow, having not trained at all. Like, because you just know how to get through it. So, like, Georgia of 2024 could not do that. So they're all things that, as a coach, I take into consideration too. Like, if this was your debut marathon and you're like, I want to run sub 4, and we had this quad strain and the hip injury and things, I'd be like, hey, like, we probably need to reevaluate those goals.
Yeah.
But you are a conditioned and experienced enough athlete, mentally and physically, that having a couple of little hiccups during prep isn't going to deteriorate from the mass amount of work we've done over the last 2 years.
Yeah. That makes sense. I guess I just I get stressed at this, leading into even just this week, that missing runs is just, it's so ingrained in me because of my own thing that I don't like to miss runs. And so
Look, it's
missing
not
runs.
perfect. We know that. Like,
Yeah.
but we're not trying to be perfect. It's better
No.
to be consistently good than occasionally great. If you are consistently good for an extended period of time, it is better than the person who shows up and just does one really good workout here, one really great workout there. Like, you've been consistent for 2 years. Like,
Yeah, I have.
yeah. So
I feel better. Thank you.
yeah, I think it's that see that little nugget of anxiety or insecurity there.
Yeah.
It's like, if this was 6 weeks ago, it wouldn't even cross your mind. You'd just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to rehab this and then I'll go back to training.
Yeah.
And so it's the same with all athletes. So they just find that one thing that isn't perfect and they just focus on it and they make a mountain out of a molehill. So I often think that fear looks like this massive ocean, but really it's only about an inch deep. And once you take the first step, you realize I can just walk across this. So
Oh, that
yeah,
gave me
I think
goosebumps. I like that. That's really good because I feel like that is definitely what a marathon is like leading into it. If you've never done one, it feels like an entire ocean.
Yeah.
And it's not until you start that you're actually like, oh, it's not so
I can
bad.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that first step and you're like, oh, it's only ankle deep. No worries. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people, they go, I don't know, like 42, I've only run 32. Like, how am I going to do it? And I always remind people, you never believed you could run 32, yet you ran 32 last week. And so it's the same as that. You never would have believed, that you'd be able to get as far as you have, and you've gotten this far. So let's just see how much further you can go.
Yeah. And the other part of it is, and this is one I hammer to my athletes, so I get the questions all the time, is you're running those 32 kilometer, 36 kilometer, 35 kilometer, whatever it might be, long runs at the end of a 30, 40, 50, 60, some athletes 80 kilometers in the previous 7 days. Like, you're actually probably doing double or triple marathon volume. So all you've got to do is run 40 kilometers fresh or 42 kilometers fresh. So got to keep that in mind as well.
Crazy. It's so easy.
Easy, mate. Easy. Just keep running. Just story it. Just keep running. Just keep running.
And so, what else is there that we can do kind of to prepare our minds coming into race day? Are there other things or hacks you've got besides, air frying your food in your hotel room?
Mate, that's
what else have you got for us?
Honestly, just singular focus. Like, the more noise you can press out, focus on controlling the controllable. There's realistically, on race day, there's only a very, very couple of things that you can control. Nothing else really matters.
Yeah.
So warm up correctly. Make sure you do your warm up. Number two,
Yeah.
pacing strategy. Stick to your pacing strategy. Don't go out too hot. Don't think I feel fantastic. Just stick to your paces. Trust that
Yeah.
it'll work. Because at the end of that race, that pace will feel really fucking hard. Fueling. Make sure you get your fueling in. Be proactive with fueling. Fuel early and often, and then taper it off as you go through the race. Same with hydration, and then enjoy the day. Like that's realistically, that's all you have to do. You're not going to sleep well the night before, so don't fucking worry about that. Everyone is a little bit banged up, has a niggle, has some sort of cold, flu, something.
Oh,
Don't worry
yeah.
about that. Everyone feels stiff. Everyone feels sore. Everyone's scared. Everyone's anxious. You can't control any of that. That's all. Doesn't fucking matter. Um, or you can. I really think you can only really control those five things.
Yeah, and there's something like 60% of people going into a marathon have some sort of niggle or cold or something
I reckon it'd
happening.
be like in the 90th percentile. I've never, ever, ever got on a start line feeling close to 100%.
Yeah, especially
Ever in
with
my
the
life.
sleep thing. And they say that, me with all the stats over here, they say that even like the night before a marathon, it actually doesn't affect, if you get a poor night's sleep, it actually
No,
doesn't affect your performance that much.
no, because adrenaline will kick in. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
look, I'm not
I
huge
actually had
on.
my best half Ironman performance off an hour and a half sleep. I
An
couldn't sleep.
hour and a half. That's
Couldn't sleep at all
diabolical.
that. Yeah, couldn't sleep at all that night. My Whoop said I was 2% recovered, and
Yeah,
I was just like,
smashed it.
just got on the start line and just ripped, and it was fine.
I mean, there you go. Proof is in the pudding there.
Oh, and I was so anxiety ridden by it. I was like, oh my god, I have no sleep. Like I'm trying to get a world champ spot. Like I was just freaking out, and
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck it. Like let's just race.
Yeah, look, that's one thing I wish I had have kind of practiced a little bit better was going to bed way earlier before a long run and waking up super, super early because race day, we're going to have to wake up at like 3:30. So I'm like, oh, probably should have practiced that a bit more. But, if I get less sleep, whatever, what do you do?
Again, I wouldn't be worried about like it's gonna suck. Like first waking up, you're gonna be like, oh, what's going on? You're gonna have coffee. You're gonna get to the race morning. Adrenaline's gonna kick in. Adrenaline will kick in before that. When the Uber shows up, adrenaline will kick in,
Yeah.
and you'll just be
Oh,
like, it'll just
and
be
the
fine.
pre-race nerves, that's the one that gets me because this is why I have to take gastro stop because the pre-race nerves, oh my god, it's like I don't even need to go and I'm just like I gotta go. So there's like, again, there's just some things you just can't control, but you can control that. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's my biggest tip. Honestly, that is my biggest hack and something that really changed it for me was for Gold Coast. One of Nick's footy mates told me, he was like, take 2 gastro stops or whatever it says on the box, obviously. But he was like, do it because you don't get any of that pre-morning nerves. It like your stomach just feels settled because, like if I'm getting ready and I'm nervous, I feel like I'm going to spew. So I'm like, if I have something that's going to stop that, why not? You just have to drink heaps of water afterwards. But
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Look, I think coming into the race, as you said, like there's only so many things you can control. Weather's one of them. You can't control that. So why worry about it?
Yep.
Just one on I know you just mentioned making sure you're doing your fueling. Another little hack is that if you have a Garmin, you can actually set up fueling reminders. So say if you want to take, a gel every 30 minutes and that's what you've been practicing, you can set that up in your Garmin to beep every 30 minutes so that, it'll beep and it'll say 30-minute reminder or whatever it is you've got set up. And yeah, I find that so helpful during a race is because I forget. I'm like, oh God, how long has it been? Whereas I just know that if my watch beeps it, I have to take a gel.
Yeah, and again, that's an experience thing too. Like most athletes, they get caught up in the start of the race, and if you find yourself getting caught up in the start of the race, if all of a sudden you look down, you're an hour and a half in. That's just like you're not focused. Like you need to fucking lock in. Like
Yeah.
that's first, and obviously it is dependent on the speed that you run at, but that first hour to hour and a half is crucial to find your rhythm early. Don't go out
Yeah.
too hot. Get your fueling in. Find your place in the crowd, and just like get comfortable.
Yeah. And I think where I'm going to really need to focus at the start of the race in that first kind of 5 kilometers is making sure that I'm focusing and not getting too excited with the people around me. Because people do naturally come up and they say hi and all that kind of stuff. But
this guy, and for all our listeners, if you see Georgia after she has crossed that start line, do not go near her. Do not talk to her. No, Georgia, fuck off. Do not talk to her. Let her run her race. Because I reckon you would have run sub 4 in Sydney last year, but you got chatting to some bloke for 5.5 Ks. And I could watch your data just slow down and your heart rate go up. It's like, let her run her race. Talk to her before, talk to her after. Come down to the shakeout run. For those 3 hours and 50-something minutes, please leave her alone. Thank you.
And the people pleaser in me is like, no, say hi, but then just keep running. But I'm like, you know what? If you say hi, I'm going to get so caught up being like, how are you feeling?
Herself. Yeah, she can't help herself. She'll fucking start her own podcast. Just leave her alone.
Yeah, my heart rate will spike. It really will. And it has every other time.
If you like George's social media and you like following it and you like the podcast, the biggest thing, favor, thank you, reward, however you want to phrase that, you could give her is leave her alone, start line to finish line.
Thank you, Matt, because I couldn't say that.
Yeah, I know. Someone else.
And I was thinking about it this morning actually out on my run. I've been testing 2 pairs of shorts that I want to wear and I couldn't work out which ones I wanted to wear. But anyway, I worked it out this morning because the shorts that I thought I was going to wear, I can't fit my phone in my back pocket. And I need to have my phone in my back pocket, otherwise I will be tempted to get it out and film. And I was thinking about it, I was like, it's going to be such a different race, not filming for one, and also not talking to people because I really get caught up in chatting to people during
no
races.
Shit.
And do you know what? You were so right about Sydney last year. And bless that guy who just started following me and then decided to run with me for 10K because unfortunately, if I hadn't have, I
you lost about 3.5 minutes in that 10K.
Yeah, I did because it was just the questions. How are you filming? What are you doing? How do you know which bit to film next? So I was like, I don't know, bro. I'm just trying to run. And I'm too nice. I'm too nice that I just don't know how to be like, can you leave me alone, please?
Yeah.
So anyway, that is just something I am grateful that I have to deal with. So
but don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic problem. But when there is athlete Georgia and then there is brand Georgia. So when it's time to go, like, you got to fucking lock. Like just said, you just got to lock in. Like the amount of people who try and talk to me during Ironman, I just give them one look and they're like, I'm not talking to that cunt again. Like, and
just know that if you get caught talking to me while Matt is around, he'll yell at you.
Oh yeah, I'll fucking come run up next to you and be like, hey, fuck off. Don't do it.
He says this. He would never say fuck off. He'd be like, can you leave me alone?
That'll be your first warning. The second one will be fuck off.
Exactly.
Oi, what did I just fucking say?
Matt actually does very much love our listeners so much, so don't worry.
I do.
Be really nice about it.
I love our listeners. That's why I do the podcast. But I also love my athletes going out and achieving goals significantly more. So
100%.
It is very important for me that not just Georgia, but all of our Sydney Marathon athletes go out and crush it. But Georgia has a habit of sabotaging herself.
Yeah, no, I will be locked and loaded. And I've decided, like, usually I don't listen to music for the first, 10, 15K just because I want to take it all in. I'm music in because...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't listen to... Not that I listen to music when I run anyway, but, I couldn't listen to music while I was running if I was focused. I'm just like...
No.
No headphones, nothing.
I reckon if I'm not listening to music... the crowd would give me anxiety, hearing the screaming right at the start. Whereas I feel like if I lock into the playlist I've had for 3 years for all of my marathons, or 2 years, I think that would actually give me a sense of calm because it's the same songs and I know.
It's routine. It makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just
routine.
You guys are allowed to listen to music. We're not, obviously in Ironman, we're not allowed to have headphones. So it's when people say I listen to music while I race, I'm like, it's so foreign to me.
Yeah, it would be.
Even now, when I go and race, I just go with the mindset that I can't have headphones. So yeah, it's a foreign concept to me.
Yeah, and look, normally I don't listen to music at least during the first half. I try and use it as a bit of a saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, I don't know which marathon it was, I ended up just putting my headphones in and I was like, why didn't I just do this from the start? Why am I trying to use this as a saving grace when, like, why not just use it right from the start and then feel good?
If you got a tool, use it.
Yeah, and it's like, I've done this for every long run. Why would I then go into race day not listening to music?
Yeah, nothing new on race day, mate.
Nothing new. So, yeah. Anyway, I am going to lock in with some headphones. So, if I don't reply or I don't hear you guys, that is why. I just try not to hear it. Just like, la, 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 la.
Leave her alone. Well, I'm gone.
Oh, gosh. In terms of mindset, I don't think there's anything else we really need to talk about. I think we have a couple of really great listener questions that I want to get into soon, which are all on kind of mindset. I tried to choose ones that everyone had sent through, which had really sparked this conversation. But first, Matt, I want to ask you, just speaking of, me and my race, because this is my podcast as well.
Yeah, it's George's podcast featuring Matt occasionally.
I mean, it's true. Can I get a preview of my pacing strategy, please? Because I am yet to get it, and I thought, why not? Let's all experience it for the first time together.
Run quicker than 4 hours.
Fuck
You're
off.
welcome.
Give me something better than
that. I would say run the first half marathon quicker than 2 hours, and then the second half marathon also quicker than 2 hours.
Are you going to give me an actual answer or just your classic Matt smartass answer?
It depends on how much detail you want, mate.
Nah, come on, give everyone a look into what my strategy is going to be. Obviously, I'm getting there, I'm warming up, I'm doing all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's my pace looking like the whole race? Are we doing this in 10K splits? Come on.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of breaking it up into 10Ks, but not like neg splitting it or anything. I just think it's you want to be as consistent as possible, and we spoke about this in our pacing episode. It's just all about consistency. So I think Georgia is going to sit somewhere between 5:30 and 5:35 for especially the opening 30 to 32Ks. That back 10, I wouldn't be surprised to see the pace drop closer to 5:40, maybe even low 5:40s. That's just a natural part of fatigue and conditioning. Also, Georgia's still battling a little bit of the hip injury, so I'm putting in a buffer for not her slowing down due to fatigue. It's more of a pain management. But I also wouldn't be surprised if she could held 5:35 the whole day. So
yeah, that's what I've been thinking would happen. In all of my long runs, from 2 hours onwards, I've dealt with pain, pretty horrible pain, to be honest, but I've just kind of ignored it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good. I feel like I'm going to be able to really hold this pace. So I feel really good knowing that that's what you're thinking too. I feel like we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. I mean, look, and again, this is an experience thing with athletes, but they get a pretty good idea if they go for a few preps. They get a pretty good idea of what they can hold and what they can't hold. Yeah. Like I said, I think you'll hold sort of 5:30 to 5:35. I'd imagine by kilometer 32, we're going to be running. If you have people tracking Georgia, it's probably going to look something between 3:53 and 3:55. And I'll put my prediction out there. I think you'll finish somewhere between around 3:57.
Okay. Let's see.
But I am taking into consideration you slowing down for your hip. If adrenaline kicks in and you do not, I would not be surprised if you ran between 3:54 and 3:56.
Okay. I love it. You heard it here first, guys. Let's see how close Matt actually is. And I will
just did
put
that
in
off the top of my head. I don't even have my spreadsheet.
I know. Well, look, and that'll all depend on, as Matt said, my hip. So I'll let you guys know when we do a kind of a recap whether or not the hip played a part, and then he can go off which one he said.
Yeah, good. Well, adrenaline, you will have adrenaline, which obviously adrenaline brings down pain. So we all know that. that happens in like say like military, like if you get shot, but you've got adrenaline, like the soldiers sort of get through that sort of stuff. Um, that's just like you see football players tear a hamstring and they're able to keep running to like score a try or make a tackle or whatever it is. And then
Yeah.
as soon as that play is over, they're buckled. So there will be an element of adrenaline kicking in that will dull the pain, but then you'll also hit those spots like say right down the bottom before you come back to Centennial Park, like where there's just no
Oh,
crowd and it's just
Kingsford, yeah.
quiet. Or you'll hit those quiet places in the marathon where it's like there's nothing to spark that adrenaline. And
Yeah.
there I could probably see some dips in pace just because like your mind might wander a little bit. But if you're able to stay focused and the pain isn't too bad, I think yeah, you'll run 3:56-ish.
Okay. Okay. Love it. I love
Yeah.
it. That's a good number. I feel
Yeah.
good with that. So,
And then
do
if
you
we
think?
compare that to if we compare that to Sydney last year,
Yeah.
like you ran 4:01, so I can't remember what that is as a percentage. It's probably like 8% better, something like that. So that's a pretty big improvement
Yeah.
for really a 8-month block.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone during the other day and asking about, you know, how people write the times on their arm for like
Mm.
what they should be hitting each marker
hmm
at. Is that helpful?
Um, not. Oh, I guess it just depends. Like there'd be some athletes I say yes. Like
Yeah.
I'd say for an athlete like myself, I wouldn't write it down, but I'm very good with numbers, so I would just remember it.
Yeah.
And then I would know those splits. For some athletes, I'd say it'd be detrimental because like they'd be, oh my God, I'm off the pace, and then they'd like try and speed up, slow down. They're probably not experienced enough to know how fast, how quickly do I need to make that time back. Like if you're 30 sec, let's say you broke it down into the 10K markers and you're 30 seconds off over 10Ks, a lot of athletes would try and make that 30 seconds back in a K. Like they would just drop the
Yeah.
hammer down
Instead of over
like
10Ks.
3 seconds, so 3 seconds a K, which is realistically 2 quick strides and you're on pace per
Yeah.
kilometer. So I probably would encourage if you're chasing a performance goal and you feel like you need to write down your splits, you probably haven't prepared correctly. Like that should just be ingrained in your head. You should know what you should hit at each marker. You should know what you should hit at the 5, the 10, the half marathon, the 32, and obviously the finish. The only exception to that would be I'd want to know where I'm at maybe 5Ks out. So at the 37, between 35 and 37. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm a minute behind, 5 minutes behind, whatever it might be. If you can really, really dig deep, assuming things haven't gone horrifically wrong, like if you're 10 minutes down, good luck. But if you're like 3 minutes down, you could make 3 minutes up in five-ish Ks. Like it would hurt, it would fucking suck. But like if you really wanted to like grit your teeth, bite down on the mouth guard, you could get it back. So I would just be as consistent as possible for as long as possible, and then maybe just have a couple of like key checkpoints, whether that's on your watch or you've memorized it mentally, or you've written it
Yeah.
down on your arm. But yeah, I wouldn't have it like a super super detailed plan written down.
Yeah. Like almost just like at half marathon, I should be this, and at at
hmm
32K, I should be, say, at 2:56 or whatever it is.
Yep.
Because yeah, that is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is I'll have the same thing happen as last year with the whole running around people, the GPS, where I didn't quite calculate it. Whereas if I had have known I was only 36 seconds
Yeah.
ahead, 5Ks away, I could have easily made that up.
Yeah. It's a good point. So like, I would be. You don't want it to be down to the last couple of Ks. Like you want to
No.
give yourself time. So like, I would say between 5 and 7 Ks out, you want to have a pretty good idea of if you're on pace or not. Everything
Yeah.
outside. And again, if you're chasing a performance goal and you, let's just say you're chasing 4 hours. So
Yeah.
you need to hit 5:40 per K. You know that it's 54 minutes per 10K. So if you look down after 10K and you're at an hour, like something's gone really, really wrong.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a bit of a common sense approach to it as well.
Oh, for sure. And as long as I never see myself running above 5:40, I'll be happy. I mean, I know in some instances with like hills and things like that, I know I will go ahead like above that a little bit, but as long as I'm not consistently running over a 5:40 pace,
Yeah.
I know
Again,
I should be okay.
again, for you, Georgia, it's just like those 10K blocks. So it's as
Yeah.
long as you're under 54 minutes per 10K. That's sweet.
Cool. Perfect.
Easy as
Well, how
Is it
exciting.
54 minutes? Is my math right?
I think I'd have to look it up again. I've gotten out of it.
No, 56:40. Excuse me. I was 56 minutes. We'll call it.
Is it? Wouldn't it be 54 because it's 5 minutes 40?
No, I've literally got the Strava pace calculator up here.
What's that for though? For what end time?
So 10 kilometers at 5:40 pace is 56:40.
Okay.
5:40 pace for the marathon is 3:59:06.
Yeah, so we don't want that. That's too
No.
close for me.
No.
I want a 3:56.
Yeah, I reckon you'll run between, like, in terms of per kilometer, between 5:35 and like 5:37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So you'll run like 3:55 to 3:57.
Yeah. Will we set up my watch like you do my long runs? So, yes.
Yeah, I'll
Love
set up.
that.
So again, a great thing about having a coach and knowing how you respond to different things is, like, we build like fully custom workouts for all of our performance project athletes for race day. So they literally, if they go outside of their pace range, their watch buzzes. Like they're like, hey, you are running too fast or too slow.
Yes.
Too
Give me
slow, we're
that.
not too worried about, but too fast is definitely an issue.
Well, especially like we spoke about last week with that first 5K downhill.
Yeah.
Don't get carried away.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually noticed, I don't know if it was this, I think it was the same person, said something about like running into the wind or running with the wind. Can't remember exactly what the question was. Like overthinking the room. Just, you can't control the wind. Just stick to your paces.
Run behind someone. You'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. Draft. Great.
Draft. Like a little peloton.
Yeah, exactly. Get behind someone big.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's jump into some listener questions. First one here is from Ella, and it says, all week leading into a marathon, I feel restless, anxious, and second guess everything from my training to what I'm eating. How do you stop those nerves from draining your energy before race day even arrives?
Go on, Georgia.
I knew you'd say that, and I was like, I'm not prepared. No, I am. I did have a good think about this question before. I think just kind of what we spoke about before, and it's kind of like trust that you have put in all of the hard work over the past, however many weeks you've had in your training block to know that it will get you there on race day. I'm really leaning into this, the hay is in the barn lately, and I know I keep saying it, but it's really resonated with me, this training block, and that, you've put in the hard yards, so you can't, like you said before, you can't control everything. Control what you can control, and just know that, you can do hard things and you've totally got this. I feel like that's probably a little bit more of a woo-woo answer, but Matt, do you have maybe more of a coaching answer for that?
Yeah, this is a quote that I use it all the time. I write it on my mirror. It's on my wall here in my office.
Oh.
And it's, you do not become self-confident by yelling affirmations in the mirror. You become self-confident by you become self-confident by having an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. So that is what I rely on when I feel anxious. I go back and I'm like, what am I feeling anxious about? Okay, can I complete a sub 10 hour Ironman? I go back and look at my training. I'm like, all of this training is proof that I can do a sub 10 hour Ironman. So I have no reason to be anxious about that. There's nothing else I can do. I have done all the work to say that I can do that. If you are anxious about something, go back and look at the work that lines up with that. So that is what I would say. And I tell my athletes all the time, like, you don't know if you can do it. Go back and look at the last 12 weeks of your training peaks. That tells everyone who thinks you can't do it, that you can do it, including yourself. So yeah.
Especially like if you look back at the weeks that were really tough, like those weeks where you were getting up before work and doing 16 kilometers, if you can do that, like there's so many amazing things you can do. And just, I know Ella asked about even just with food, you would have practiced your race day nutrition already. You would have practiced a bit of a carb load already. So just know what you like, go through what you already know. Don't try anything new. Just, if you know that you love your bagel, have your bagel, because it will remind you, okay, I've done this. I've had this before. This is just another normal day. Yeah. Keep that routine for sure.
Yeah. Nothing new on race day. The reason we harp on about it so much is because it's like a North Star for all of our athletes. Like, you have done this a million times. Like, there's nothing new. You're just going to run a little bit further. It's just a little bit longer than what you've done before. And that's not that big a deal, because every week previous, you have run a little bit further. Now we're just going to run. This is just the last time you got to run a little bit further. So
yeah,
you'll be fine.
Plus
Everything
you get
is just
all of
consistent.
Yeah, and plus you get all of the best part of it, where it's a crowd and you're surrounded by all these amazing people, and you'll see someone who looks just like you running next to you, and you go, holy crap, like they're doing this, like I can do this. And you get the cheering from the crowd. And I don't know, if you're anything like me and you hear people yelling out things like go mom or something like that, like you'll feel like you're going to cry the whole race, because I just get so emotional. But you get all of those really good spots as well with that. So look forward to those exciting things too, because you don't get those in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all upside.
All upside. Exactly. Question here from Caroline. Help! I'm due to run Sydney Marathon. Did you like that? And
I did, yeah.
I found myself with a calf niggle. I haven't been able to do too much these past few weeks. Doesn't matter that I've not run too much in the 2 weeks leading into the marathon. Sounds a bit like me.
Yeah. So just circle back to what we said. Like, it's obviously athlete dependent, how experienced you are, if you're on debut, if you've got a performance goal, if your goal is just to finish. If your goal is to finish the marathon, you'll be right as rain, mate. Like, the first couple of maybe 5Ks will feel a bit shitty. And then you'll just find a groove. It might be a little bit slower than what you're used to. That's fine. If you are chasing a performance goal, you might just have to bite down on the mouth guard, mate. Like, it might just be a rough day for you. You can still do it, but like, it'll suck. And that just kind of is what it is. I would, if you have a coach or you are contemplating a performance goal, like with yourself, I would just maybe be comfortable. I'd have a backup goal that you are comfortable hitting, because it is very, very realistic that if you haven't run for 2 weeks, when you get to somewhere in the 30s, that wall hits you just a little bit harder than you're expecting, a little bit harder than what you anticipated or what you experienced in training, and just sort of knocks the wind out of your sails, and might just be the difference between achieving that performance goal. But in terms of finishing the marathon, I really wouldn't be concerned.
Yeah. And I know Matt mentioned having a backup goal and stuff, but if you have a goal in mind and you really want it, I mean, you kind of just have to evaluate, is it worth it to not enjoy the race? I think, there's pushing through and then hating every minute of the marathon, or there's going, okay, this goal is not worth me spending 42 kilometers in pain. So for me, I was faced with this decision as well. I was like, is it going to matter? Like, what's going to happen? But for me, I'm like, okay, I know I can push through this kind of pain. It's not that bad. It's just a little bit of pain. As Matt said, it is dependent on your injury and who you are as an athlete as well. But yeah, I think like what you said before, Matt, like it depends on how long you've been running for, whether or not it's a big deal that you haven't done too much. But I would just say, even from my experience right now, I felt fine running on the weekend and I'd had a week off. So I dare say you'll be the same. Okay, last question is from Jamie. This one is a little bit long. I didn't really want to paraphrase it because I feel like everything was important. So stick with me. So it says here, how do you get over that mental block on race day? I just completed my third half marathon on the weekend with the goal of breaking a sub 2 hour. I did all the training and I was predicted to be able to run a 1:54. On the day, and like previous races, I hit a mental battle at some point in the race where I feel like I just can't do it anymore. What's frustrating is that I know that I can do it because I've done the training, and it's not until the end that I know I could have really pushed. I got a 2:02 this time, which is a massive 8-minute PB from this time last year. I'm still really proud of myself, but I just want to know how to work on that mindset.
Hmm.
Matt, why don't you go first this time?
You want me to shoot down the barrel or?
Yeah, why not? I feel like some people need that.
Yeah. I would say you didn't train hard enough, like straight off the bat, especially for the half marathon. Um, if you are hitting the wall during a half marathon, and it's not because you went out too hot and like crossed over threshold, you just haven't put in the time. And that's not discrediting the work that you have put in. It's just based on the goals that you have put out. So I think that's really important to say is it's all well and good to say you had like it's good to set high standards and high goals, but that also comes with a high workload. And sometimes people set goals that exceed what they are capable of training wise, and that's absolutely fine. It's just an experience thing. So I would say if you are hitting the wall during a half marathon, I would assume you probably took a marathon-esque approach to your training where your longest run was between 16 and 19 Ks.
Mm,
Obviously, I haven't spoken to Jamie at all and don't know her training or anything, but
yeah.
um, context, all of our half marathon athletes, like they would be running 25 kilometers and probably have like 18 to 19 kilometers at race pace during a half marathon block.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you can't use the same principles in terms of like for the full marathon you stop at 36 or 34 or something like that. So I would say one is like you just do not have the experience of deep into running hard deep into a training block. So 18,
Mm,
20, 22 Ks of hard running for a half marathon. Same for a marathon, 30, 32, 34 Ks of hard running. Really, really important. Uh, if you have done that and you're still struggling from a mindset perspective, I would look at your pacing strategy because generally speaking, you only sort of start to hit the wall you are, when exhaustion is starting to kick in, when that RPE is starting to climb up. So I would look at your pacing strategy and look how fast you went out, look at your training zones, make sure you're running in the correct zones, and making sure that your goal matches up with your pacing strategy. But I would definitely be more inclined to say that you probably just didn't train. I'm not going to say didn't train hard enough. That's not fair. Sorry, Jamie. You didn't train correctly for the goal that you were trying to achieve.
yeah.
I think that's a better way of phrasing
That's a
it.
better way to phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, because hard training is all relevant. So, yeah, I would say potentially. I would definitely put my flag on the side of you didn't train correctly for the goal you were trying to achieve.
Yeah. Do you think there's a correlation between hitting the wall physically, where you said, you were talking about not training correctly at the correct paces, that kind of thing,
Hmm.
and then mentally hitting the wall? Because what I kind of got from this question was that Jamie kind of gets to a certain point where she then goes, I just can't do it anymore. And it's kind of like you haven't hit that point where you've really had to push through that mental barrier. I know, especially with marathon training, and I know it's slightly different, but there is a point where you definitely want to give up and you're like, this is too hard, especially in like, a really hard threshold session or something
Hmm.
like that. Do you think she hasn't done enough of that kind of thing where you really get to that point where you're like, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't, and you just keep pushing? It's like one
Yeah.
more kilometer. Do you think that is something as well, or is it, both are the same
Yeah.
thing?
Well, I mean, they kind of tie in with one another.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not, we'll use that 25K. So, like, our signature half marathon session is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or half marathon pace. So, it's 5, 9, 12, 14. It's 15 Ks of like above half marathon pace running, which is basically sitting right on threshold.
Mm-hmm.
That last 1K is fucking hard. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard.
And
And
that's where
that's,
you work on the mindset, right?
yeah. So, again, without knowing Jamie's training and anything, I probably would say, like, yeah, there's maybe that area where you just haven't dug deep enough. But you can also argue it from two sides, especially in the half marathon. The half marathon's unique because you're sitting right under threshold. You're sitting on that knife's edge. Um, you could argue like, hey, you haven't just dug deep enough in terms of threshold training and had to push through those last 1Ks. Or you could say like, hey, you just haven't done enough like long running where 21Ks isn't that difficult. So it would be training block dependent, but I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if actually both were true.
Okay.
Yeah, I would find it odd that if you were doing really, really hard threshold sessions and not accumulating 16, 18, 20 kilometers of really, really good running. Alternatively, I'd find it odd that you hit the wall and you weren't, if you were running under 21, 23, 25 kilometers as your long runs for a half marathon.
Okay. So heaps to work on there for Jamie.
Yeah.
And
Also depends on experience too. Like if you've done 3 half marathons in your first year of running, like to take 8 minutes off, like that's huge. Like you could have just set, and I don't want to say you set too ambitious goals because I love an ambitious goal, but it could just be like the math didn't add up. Like you can only improve so much block to block. Like you can't just go out and be like, I can't be like, I'm going to go out and do a 9-hour Ironman next race. Like it just doesn't work like that. So you could have just set your goals slightly too ambitious, which again, like I said, I don't like, but like in terms of a mathematical approach, that could also be a factor.
well, yeah, like I guess, if you're doing all of your training at a certain pace and your body just can't push that a little bit further.
Yeah, you can only get so much faster per block, and 8 minutes is huge. Like if we have athletes do 5 minutes or better in a half marathon, we're like, you fucking crushed that. So 8 minutes is huge. So don't think don't think the improvement is not. I would say that improvement shows me you are getting stronger mentally too. Like you do not run 8 minutes better just on accident. Like that doesn't happen. You trained hard for that. You went out and executed a race. You learned from experience. You did significantly better. So what would that be? That'd be something like 10-ish% better.
Don't ask me.
Something like that. So like high single digits to 10%. So I would say like that is nothing to sneeze at. If any of my athletes came back to me and said that, I'd be absolutely pumped. So I would say overall, fantastic performance, did really, really well in terms of you wanting to get through that mental wall. It would be digging really, really deep in terms of those threshold sessions and making sure those long runs really dwarf the half marathon.
Amazing. I feel like there's lots of amazing things that you guys can take away from this episode coming into if you are running Sydney Marathon or if you are running a race in the future. There's plenty to learn. I know I've even just taken away stuff from this, and
race weeks are pretty universal.
Yeah, they are. And they're the best. They're like all your hard work is in this exact week, this exact moment. I'm so excited. Yeah. I can't wait.
The most important thing is to enjoy the week. Like you only get one race week.
Exactly.
You've worked all this time for it. Don't wish it by. Don't let the anxiety make it go quick. Just enjoy it.
Oh, I'm pumped. I got so much on this week. I have a busy week. I'm excited. So many amazing things to do. And I'm so excited to see all of you guys at our Shakeout Run on Saturday. This will come out on Wednesday, so there won't be too much longer to go until we get to see you all. Come up, ask all the questions, say hi then, because I cannot wait. And then, after our run, you get to get all these like free stuff. So that's good.
You don't get it before. You got to actually run.
Yeah, you got to actually, you can't just grab it
while we're all out running. Nah.
We will also have someone there with like all of your bags. So don't stress, if you've got to bring a bag, that's totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
There's one girl that said she's bringing her suitcases. I was like, righto, we'll put it in my car. Oh, very good. All right, guys, make sure if you're going to do one thing, actually, I'm going to ask you a favor is please send our podcast to someone you know who runs. Send it to a friend, just one person. If everyone who listened to our podcast sent this to one person, we'd be so grateful and it would be very, very helpful. So make sure you do that and make sure you follow us at beyondthefinishline_pod. We are over on Instagram. You will also get this on wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts or YouTube. And have a fantastic race week. Good luck to everyone who's running Sydney Marathon. I am so excited. Hopefully we see you there. Matt, any last words?
Hooroo.
Bye.